Hi everyone, it's Anne at Martin House Flowers. Happy Labor Day. It's September 1st today, and it's so hard to believe that the summer is already over according to the calendar. But it's still a beautiful, warm weekend, and we managed to get some projects done around the garden. And first off, in the earlier clip, Greg was able to finish setting up the last string of solar lights in the greenhouse, and I think you'd agree that it looks so pretty, and it looks like, to me, a bit of a jewel box. So hope you enjoyed that little clip. And in this bed behind me, which is our south-facing front yard, I was able to come up with a solution for those daylilies, Stella D'Oro Day Lilies, that I've been wanting to replace for some time. So I was visiting my local nursery, the garden market in Sycamore, and she happened to have one of the Sweet Romance lavenders in stock. And because I needed a few more, she was able to order them for me. So I picked up 5 Sweet Romance lavenders, and I also picked up those lovely gold colored coneflowers, which are called Sombrero Granada Gold coneflowers, or echinacea. So that's a bit of a mouthful. So I will put the name up on the screen. And that color, I think, satisfies that yellow gold color that Greg was worried about missing once I took away the daylilies. So I'm really happy with that. And so I'm taking you along on that little planting session we did early this afternoon. I should have done it in the morning when I was up early with Eddie. But anyway, we managed to get it done with Greg's help. Also, we were able to finish, Greg was able to finish planting the Dappled Willow Tree that I had picked up. So hopefully you're not hearing all that noise that's going on behind me between an airplane and now horns beeping. Honestly, I've tried to film this intro a few times today. So yeah, so I filmed a little bit of that tree being planted. And also, while I was at the garden market in Sycamore, Barb was kind enough to offer me a couple of complimentary Rudbeckias. She wanted me to trial these two, any of the ones that she had on hand, but I selected Prairie Sun, and they're really pretty yellow, lemon yellow, two-tone yellow with a green center, Rudbeckia. So I decided to plant those in my cut flower garden raised beds, and I decided to put it in, well, I haven't quite planted them yet, but I'm going to plant them in with my red, white, and blue bed, where I have cosmos, salvia, some other perennials in there. Oh, I've got celosia and amaranth in there. So didn't get a chance to plant those today, but I did want to show you where I'm planning to put them. So thanks for coming along on this video on this lovely Labor Day weekend. I hope you're enjoying the nice weather wherever you are, and hope you enjoy your garden. Thanks for joining me. that's good, because then we'll fill it over to there, slope it kind of. So here we are at the south side of the house at the front pathway, and this is the bed with the mysterious gravel that we figured out. My husband figured out that the ground squirrel had dug up that gravel from underneath the concrete step. So I need to get rid of that after I finish digging up everything here. So here's the first daylily, the second daylily, the third, and then there is one in the middle, right in front of the Kiss Me Kate rose, and there's the fifth one. So I've somewhat laid out the Sweet Romance lavender where they're going to be placed. And here is the sombrero Granada echinacea in the gold, Granada gold. I think it's Sombrero Granada Gold. I'll put up on the screen the full name. But aren't they beautiful? They actually are very similar in color to the Stella D'Oro Day Lilies. So you can see here that the two in the middle daylilies have already, stopped blooming, and they just look really tired and dried out. So here I lined up on the front step the Sweet Romance lavender in their 1 gallon pots. And according to the tag, it says that they grow 12 to 18 inches tall and wide. However, my Sweet Romance lavenders that I have planted just to the left over there, that I'll show you in a second, actually grew to be quite a bit larger than 12 to 18 inches. So, and there's the colorway of the Sombrero Coneflower in gold. And I think it's going to be a nice combination. So there's the lavender that I believe I planted last year, and they've really done well. So that was the inspiration for me buying 5 more. So I dug up the first daylily, and oh my gosh, there was a mountain of ants that were underneath the plant, and they actually started attacking my ankles. And Greg came to the rescue and sprayed them, and actually also you'll see later he relocated the tubing for the drainage so that I was able to plant the coneflower a little bit offset to where the original daylily was. So here I am digging up the second daylily. The one that had the infestation of ants has already come out and is in that lawn and leaf bag that's laying on the sidewalk or the walkway there. So this is the second one, and I'm going to fast forward it a little bit because I think it was a little bit long. So this is the third daylily, and boy, was it ready to come out. It was already splitting in half by the time I pulled it out, and there were a lot of roots to dig up, and I kept finding daylily roots, and I certainly hope that they don't manage to come up in the spring. I was joking that they're kind of like a haunted daylily that I'm worried are gonna come up next year. So there is I believe the fourth daylily, and there's one more in the middle that I was taking out. And I had also already split and divided these previously, and they just weren't performing. I think sometimes when you split daylilies, they maybe stop blooming continuously as they might have in the first year or two. And while I was doing this, my husband kept saying, why don't you offer those daylilies to anyone that wants them? Maybe put them at the base of the driveway. And I said, well, I'll just leave this lawn and leaf bag at the edge of the driveway. And he said, well, that might not be very appealing. And I was joking that I really didn't want to see any more in the neighborhood. I was just so fed up with these daylilies, which I love to call ditch lilies. Back in Canada, they call the orange wild lilies ditch lilies because they're all over, the cottage country area, or anyone that lives out in the country. There's ditch lilies everywhere. Well, these Stella D'Oro Day Lilies are just overplanted by builders and landscapers, and so they've just become just too common, in my opinion. And I just don't like the way they look after they've bloomed. And technically you're supposed to prune them back to get a second flush, and I just can't be bothered. I just don't like the looks of them. So yeah, there's the 5th daylily that I'm digging up, and it was a bit of a maneuvering since I've got my peonies sort of nearby, and I have the alliums nearby there, and of course the Kiss Me Kate rose. So I was so happy to get rid of these, and the next step would be locating or positioning the lavender and the echinacea or coneflower. So instead of getting a measuring tape out, I like to measure the space between plants with my feet, and I was measuring out to roughly 3 feet apart, 36 inches. So here I'm laying out the positioning of the coneflower relative to the 3 peonies that would be in front between the lavender and the coneflower. So I was laying out where they should be. So one near the walkway or near the driveway, and one just behind the second peony and in front of the rose. And then my husband saw a monarch butterfly, which was a really beautiful sign that if I planted more lavender, I would attract more butterflies. So that was exciting. I later saw that butterfly at another lavender after I'd finished planting everything. So that was really pretty to see. So here I'm digging the holes for the Sweet Romance lavender, and then I got out my Plantone to put in each of the holes. So I managed to convince Greg to dig the hole for the coneflowers because I was really paranoid about digging in that area where I had found all of those ants, and I just didn't want to go through that again. So, and being a 2-gallon pot for the coneflowers, they were just a little bit bigger, and my back was starting to feel the pain again from doing the 5 lavender. And he actually decided here to reposition the tubing first, so that there would be more room for the coneflower. So I got Greg to redivert that pipe. It's just a drainage pipe, and he uncovered more ants and he sprayed it. So I'm going to show him. Yep, that looks good. Yep. So move that over. Yeah, so if you can plant it like right on the other side of it. Yeah. Yeah, right here. Yep, perfect. Even when I was pulling out the daylilies, it was cutting into that, so they were growing into that already. Yeah, it never grew. I don't know what that is. And there's another one here. It's some kind of, so whenever I plant perennials in a container like I did last year, in the fall I just put them in the ground, and that's one of them, salvia, that purple one. That's kind of going nuts, but these ones, they didn't really take off. Would you like a real shovel? That's my, it's not quite the kitty one, but it's close. Well, we'll just get these 2 planted. So while Greg was busy digging the last hole for the second coneflower, I came along and spread mushroom compost around the base of all of the lavender plants, and would also do that around the coneflower. I had really good success with putting mint compost around my roses last fall, as it added some extra nutrients and helped the new young plants overwinter. So I thought it wouldn't hurt to do something similar using mushroom compost around these lavender plants and the coneflowers. I was a little bit worried about planting the lavender so close to the fall season, and I did read that lavender prefers to be planted in the spring, but I sometimes also like to plant in the fall because it gives them a head start, and then the following season the lavender would have that extra season of growth so that they would grow a little bigger and could catch up to the ones at the front porch. So after I finished planting the front bed with the lavender and coneflower, I got pretty hot and dirty, so I decided to have my shower, and Greg managed to finish up removing the grass or sod around the base of the tree that he had planted. And here I caught him finishing the last load of sod, and he was removing as much soil from the sod pieces as possible and using it to mound around the base of the tree. So he got it finished this evening or late this afternoon, and we decided to call it a day. And I still had the 2 Rudbeckias to plant, and we wanted to go to our local Menards to get our mulch, but we decided to go out for a nice dinner instead. We thought we deserved it since we worked hard all day and we were tired and didn't really get a chance to have a proper meal. So we went for a nice Italian dinner, and I am just finishing editing this video after coming back home on Sunday night. So there you go. I think it looks pretty nice, and it will look even more impressive once the mulch gets added on there. And we extended the bed from the hosta. I think it looks pretty good. I mean, we eventually would like to widen that bed beyond the hostas by about another, I would say 12 to 18 inches, but for now this was good enough for this year. Next spring we might go ahead and deepen that bed further down, as I've shown you in front of the obelisk. But that would mean us needing to get that much more mulch, and this year we just didn't want to do that. So this was actually taken on Monday evening, Labor Day Monday, and we actually had spent the day out at a botanical gardens in Rockford. So in the evening, I finally had a moment to plant the Prairie Sun Rudbeckia that Barb at the garden market in Sycamore had asked me to trial. So as I was digging in the bed, I noticed that the cardboard that we had put in that bed was actually still near the surface. So anyway, I was able to plant through it, and it looked like I could actually add some more soil or compost. So I think as much as I was able to get these 2 plants in the ground, I'm going to come in on another day or tomorrow and add some compost just to give those roots a better chance, because they were pretty rooted into the pots. For this year, it'll be next to the Cupcake Cosmos to the right, and the Salvia you see to the left, and Amaranth just in front of it there, and Celosia. But those are all annuals, so come fall, all of those annuals will be coming out, and in the spring, hopefully these Rudbeckia will self-seed, and I should be able to get more than 2 plants in that bed, and I'll see what space I have remaining to plant out whatever annual seedlings that I plan to put in there in the spring. So you can see with that one, it was pretty rooted, that second one. So I probably could have spread them out a little more, but that was the space that I had with the current annuals still in the bed. But I'm hoping that, as per the grower had mentioned, that this perennial will self-seed nicely and I'll have a lot to cut from.